Hey folks, this is just a quick video to show you what the hell I'm working on, what I'm going through. What you're looking at here is an XKX 350. It's on a blue diatone frame with stock ESCs and Bang Toys X16 motors. I believe it's too much weight. I believe the Bang Toys motors, the KV rating is probably very similar to the XK motors, which in my guess would probably be about, I don't know, 1200, 1300 kV, something like that. Great, powerful motors, but probably too big and too heavy for a 250 frame. Requires a lot more prop to give it the wind, to give it the lift. So it's actually kind of sluggish in this form. It does fly, but it's a little sluggish. You have to have the throttle almost all the way up just to get a proportion of lift. And I don't know if that's harder on the motors or the ESCs. I don't know. It does work, but you know, I'm just experimenting and it's temporary. Okay, this right here is the XKX 350. This board was the board that used to be on the 250 Samurai. And it was pretty fast, pretty responsive, and seemed to be pretty efficient. It was running the XKX board, the XKX ESCs, and these particular motors here, which were some kind of brand LHI. I believe these were around 1900 kV motors. And the 1900 kV motors with the XK frame, with all this extra weight, all the glue and all the garb I do to put the board on there, the stock XK ESCs, the bullnose props, the stock XK ESCs with these smaller bullnose tri-blades was a great combination. The 250 Samurai was a great flyer. I'm curious to see if it would maybe be a better flyer if it had longer props other than these 3-inch bullnose. Wait a minute. No, maybe it had these bullnose. I think it had these bullnose. I think I did them with both. But either way, this motor was a great combination on a 250 frame with the XK board. These motors here, one broke in midair, so I haven't given up on this brand just yet. So I have 4 more of these motors coming, which when these motors come, they will probably go on this blue 250. We'll just call it a B250 Samurai or something. These are Bang Toys props. Like I said, it works, and these motors don't look too much different, but there is a big difference. These are higher kV, smaller, a little bit lighter. They turn. Like I said, these work good with the XK on a 250. These didn't work too good on the XK on the 250. They'd probably work great if I put these on a 350 frame and gave it more prop. Anyway, where I'm at right now, I asked earlier about trying to make some risers. Oh, what you're looking at here is, this used to be the Red Pill. The frame is from the Red Pill. The motors are 2300 kV Aseho motors. These are from the Red Pill. And what confuses me is, when this had a Bugs 3 board with Bang Toys ESCs, which I assume to be maybe 15 or 20 amp ESCs, those ESCs in that Bugs 3 board really made these 2300 kV motors respond pretty good. These motors were holding on to a Bugs 8 propeller, and the Bugs 3 board with the Bugs 8 propeller, I mean, I'm talking, it was the power that I really wanted. I don't have any punch outs on camera because the quad was out of frame when I finally had the nerve to do punch outs. But you can clearly hear the grunt that these motors were producing. Now, what I'm uncertain of is, was it the Bang Toys ESC that was pushing these motors? Was it the Bugs 3 board with the 3-cell battery and the Bang Toys ESC that was pushing these motors? Or was it just the motors and the Bugs 8 blade? The reason for the confusion is I took these 2300 kV motors, kept them on the same frame, and put an XK board on with XK, what I assume to be 20 amp ESCs. And the only room I had for props were these shorter kind of bullnose tri-blades. And the thing does fly. But very little lift, very little grunt, very little power. I believe it to be overweight, too much weight, and underpropped. It just seems like these motors aren't really being pushed the way they're being pushed when I had the Bugs 3 board, which is very confusing because I would have sworn that this XK board would blow the doors off a Bugs board. So maybe it was the ESCs. Anyway, where I'm at now, this is the old 0250 Samurai. And this is a riser that I just made out of some PVC. I've been racking my brain for the past day trying to figure out what I was going to do, how I'm going to do it. And I finally decided that I'm going to go with these little rings that I made out of PVC. Okay? That way, the motor is still bolted to the frame and not bolted to the riser. See, if I bolted anything to the riser, like balsa wood or something like that, if that wood gives out, or the plastic gives out, you know, the motor can go flying off somewhere. I figure if I bolt it to the frame, even if the riser breaks or cracks or gives out, of course the quad's probably going to crash because, you know, the blade's going to go all flippy. But the motor itself still may be somehow connected to the frame. So this is what I'm going to do. If you see that there. I'm going to attempt to put these risers under these 2300 kV motors, which will give me some more room to put longer blades on. I'm going to either put the what is these? 5-inch, 6-inch, 5-inch, I don't know. I'm going to put these bigger bullnose props on this, or what I really think I'm going to do is I'm going to get another set of Bugs 2 propellers. They're pretty long. And I'm going to cut the Bugs 2 propellers down to where there's only about an inch of space between them. And that covers a lot of space, but that should produce a lot of wind. And this thing should have its zip back. Like I said, it's just an experiment. If it doesn't have its zip back at that point, then we're going to take these 2300 kV motors and use Bang Toys ESCs on the XK board for an experiment. And if we still have motor left after that, we're going to take some Little B 20 amp ESCs, put them on the XK board, and use these 2300 kV motors, because this thing had a lot of zip, man, and I want to figure out what I can do to get it back without messing with Bugs 3. Oh, and I suppose some may be expecting me to apologize for the rather tasteless way I addressed the MJX Bugs 3 situation. And to that I say, I hope you're pretty good at holding your breath, because fuck Bugs 3. Fuck 'em, fuck 'em, fuck 'em. Ain't nobody paying me. I get to say what I want. Freedom of speech is a beautiful thing when you can't be fired or boycotted or beat up. So, MJX, you blow chunks, man. You guys made a great quadcopter, but you hired dyslexic drug addicts or something to make your replacement parts, because there's no way any of these replacement boards go in the same batch as the Bugs 3 that you send out the factory. You must have a separate batch of defects that you sell as spare parts, because you know I've got fucked over royally. So fuck that. XK for now on, homie. XKX, XKX. Fuck Bugs 3. We'll fuck you up. Bye. Okay, I missed my ride home, and I missed my 10:20 p.m. bus ride, which would be the last bus home. I got back about 9 o'clock from Home Depot getting some parts and running some other errands. So I've been here since 9 o'clock, and it's midnight. It's pretty sad. 3 hours just to put on some homemade risers. Anyway, the risers are on, the battery's charging. The motors are not exactly sitting even or flush. Probably because I didn't cut these risers exactly even. But I'm hoping it doesn't make that much of a difference. They did rise, and I took off the smaller tri-blades and put on these bullnose, which still seem a little small. But like I said, these motors were really impressive with the Bugs 8 props and the Bang Toys ESCs on that messed up Bugs 3 board. So I'm hoping we can get something out of this. I'm going to kick back for a few minutes before I go outside and try it. And we'll go into possibilities if it doesn't work later. Like I said, I really like the formula of the 1900 kV motors on the 250 frame with the XKX 350 board. Pretty good cruiser. Maybe not super fast, but really good cruiser. Anyway, wish me luck. Talk to you later. Kind of pretty. I'm not going to worry about canopies and all that yet, because I got to get a flyer before I can get the look. Alright. Don't let the looks fool you. She's cross-eyed. But she's still mean. She's still vicious. And she is not to be taken lightly. The red pill. And she's about to go for a daytime flight. This will be flight number 2 since the red pill's been reborn with the DNA of the 0250 Samurai. Okay, let's go fly. Well, don't get excited. Let's go at least hover. Be right back. Did I stop that or start that? I hope I started that. Anyway, if I just started it, this is the red pill. This will be her first daytime flight since she's been back together. She's got the DNA of the 0250 Samurai. So you might just say this is a R250. I still call it the red pill, the ladybug, the Bugs 3 killer. Be back in a second.